So at this point in our methodology, we've gone through and we've done our reconnaissance, both passive and active. We've gone through our scanning processes to determine what nodes are up and running on the network. At this point, we're ready to start gathering large chunks of information about these individual systems to determine what steps need to be taken next. So we're going to focus on the enumeration of services and operating systems running on the host that we have determined to be up. So specifically, we're going to start out by talking about the concept of identifying ports and services and why that's important. Next, we're going to talk about ports and services and how we're going to go about scanning them, what techniques can be used, and how we're going to gain information. Next, we're going to talk about operating system fingerprinting, which is basically our attempt to determine what operating system and its version might be running on associated host. Then we'll talk about popular scanners that are available on the market and where you might download those. And finally, we'll do a quick demonstration of port and service and even OS enumeration. So basically at this point, we've done our ping scan, we've determined what systems are up on the network, and we're ready to start identifying services on these hosts. Now, just to kind of clarify, a service is generally something that runs on a server that is linked to a port, which is a number 1 through 65,536 that basically offers something. For example, the RDP service, Remote Desktop Protocol service, is a TCP-based service that offers the ability for you to remotely connect to a system, and it does so over port 3389. So it's a process running on that box associated with a number that does something. And that's the kind of information that we're going to find out because that is going to be the point of vulnerability for most systems. So by identifying that, we can also do more information about that particular box, such as what operating system might be running on that. So just identifying the service itself is great, but we can take it a step further and identify a combination of services that actually mean something. So once we've determined what services are running and what operating system resides on that system, then we can start putting together exploits for those individual services. Basically, we're going to run port scans to determine what port a computer is listening on. Port 80 usually translates to mean a web server. So, as you can see, doing those port scans are going to give us direct information linked to a particular service. And usually, the ping sweeps, the port and service scans are all run using the same tool. If you notice, we could actually go back to Nmap and perform the same thing, but ask for more detailed information, and we would get port-based information. So identifying these ports and services is probably one of the most critical steps in the overall hacking and penetration testing methodology.